playing for a little bit of something, but it was neutralized. So now we'll see what Ding does in another Italian game, most likely. And here we go.
There it is. Knight f6 this time. And nope, same thing. Puts the bishop on c5. Wesley refrains from the fried liver, especially after Ding's masterpiece against Parham. And this time he puts the bishop on g5, another fashionable line.
Yeah, this is g5, bishop g3, and black often castle. There it is, right into this. And we saw some great games in lines of this. In fact, Pantala Hari Krishna beat Nodirbek Abdusattorov. I know the words beat Abdusattorov. Yeah, you don't hear that very often these days, but Hari Krishna scored a great victory from the black side of position just like this. Jan Krzysztof Duda plays this from the black side, Vidit Guzrathi, pretty much the who's who of chess. So it is an opening consistently played at the top level.
And lots of decisions to be made for both sides. White, I indicated this move h4, trying to exploit the hook on g5, but that could also backfire if the king side gets dried up. That would definitely be in black's favor. You have to watch out for d5. Black has to watch out for d4 as well as queenside expansion. So it's a tremendously rich position structurally where the pawn structure is completely undefined. And I like this from Wesley's perspective. Given Ding's time situation, I think this kind of line is kind of what the doctor ordered in an Armageddon game.
And Ding Liren, he has just a ton of experience in this position. He played, I believe, either not in this exact position right now, but against Jan Krzysztof Duda in the candidates, he neutralized Duda's first move edge. And here, the thing about this position is how does white actually make progress? The f5 square, sometimes a little bit loose because your pawn's in e5 and g5, and the bishop on b6 is about to be captured, it would seem. But h4, as you're pointing out, it actually doesn't accomplish much because black closes down the king side with g4, then puts a knight on h5, and then plays f5. That is why the king is on g7 right now.
Yep, to avoid the potential for some sort of a discover check. And Wesley actually decides to castle kingside, which bears its own risks because now black's pawns could potentially steamroll white's minor pieces here, which are kind of sitting ducks. But Ding decides to develop his light square bishop instead, kind of walking into knight e3.
Yeah, that's a bit curious why you would allow knight e3. You don't want to capture an e3 and open up the f file, that's for sure.
I mean, ideally, you would want to have your cake and eat it too. You'd want to take on b6 and then somehow retool the other knight and maneuver it to e3, but that takes a long time.
Right, so knight e3, maybe just bishop d7 is kind of forced, just cover the f5 square. It doesn't look like a retreating move you want to play, but I'm also looking at the clocks down here, and Wesley has spent quite a deal of time to get to this position. So it feels like Ding thus far has been the more comfortable player.
Yeah, impossible to say which direction this game is going to go. h5 can be pretty reliably met with h3. Or so I thought, but this is happening.
So h3, is there h4 suddenly for black?
And if I drop my bishop back, you drop your bishop back, and that pin becomes a big problem.
Okay, this is very spicy.
So bishop h2, bishop h5, then the f5 square is finally up for grabs. But Ding is happy to give that square away, all in the name of this pin.
And that pin is like an everlasting pin. It's not one you're getting out of. So,
well, you could play queen d2. You could even allow bishop takes f3, and maybe Wesley will.
That looked scary, but instead he takes
that sound is right.
dark square bishop, because now you can allow certain ideas toward the king side because there's no pin from b6 to g1.
And h takes g4 is in play. That's a candidate move.
Right.
Because all of a sudden, what can end up happening, black's king could end up caught in the crossfire after something like queen d2. Well, let's see what Wesley does here. Knight h4 is even a possible move.
Queen d2 play. f6, is that available?
Bishop e6, knight h6. I think black's actually quite fine here.
Yeah, it seems like you're going to stabilize in the king side. I think Wesley, maybe he could have taken this pawn on g5 instead of playing f takes g3.
Whoa.
Wait, why would you? What are we missing?
Well, there's either queen takes g5 or even knight takes g5 because rook h1 is not possible. The king escapes through e2. I don't understand this at all. What? Just knight takes g5, no?
Oh, no. Rook h5 and queen
h5.
And after knight f7, is there queen h8? No, the king escapes, as you were just saying. But that's very close.
Also, the knight on f7 defends the h8 square.
No, but I'm giving up my queen to checkmate you was my idea. But it doesn't actually make a checkmate.
I see.
But
This is what Ding's going for. This also looks bad.
okay, I love moves like that because I was so tunneled on taking on f7.
Oh, Bishop D1. Bishop D1 1-0.
And I Ding noticed it. I'm pretty sure Ding noticed it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you didn't interrupt anything. Ding looked and he kind of like grabbed his head exactly like this. He saw Bishop D1 as soon as he brought his knight back to E7.
But that wasn't, I mean, that was just complete collide. There was no need to give up that pawn at all. Just go F6.
And you see Wesley clapping. Oh my gosh. Wesley has been so celebratory throughout the Rapid Chess Championship. We saw in the final week of the season, you were covering that, right? When he beat Jan Nepomniachtchi in the final of that week, and he just was jubilant. And he also beat Hikaru Nakamura.
He beat Hikaru in the penultimate round.
Yeah, Wesley, it means a lot to him. And he's, he loves chess and he's playing really well.
He is, but the way Ding unraveled there, that's crazy. On move 18, if you had told me the game would end 4 moves later, I would not have believed you. So a frustrating end to the tournament for Ding, but he can hang his hat on so many of the masterpieces that he played, especially with the white pieces. So a good performance at the end of the day. Wesley is the more stable player in the Armageddon.
So Wesley makes it through. He will meet Dmitry Andreikin in the next round of the losers bracket, but we're going to the winners